So I'm trying to film this video like Jerry Springer's final thoughts and After Prison Show's final thoughts at the end of a pretty interesting week here on the channel. I believe it started off, it may have been the beginning of the week, maybe, yeah, I think it was, meeting this guy Double Man, doing the interview with him, and basically, I knew nothing of this guy except for the fact that he reaches out to me and shares a story about stealing jumpsuits for a rap music video, getting locked up for that being a story in the news, and a story that I felt was going to be kind of entertaining. I had no idea how entertaining it would really be, though. First doing the interview, literally the first time I'm ever speaking to Double Man, we're setting up the Zoom call doing the interview. So I had no idea how much of a live wire and a loose cannon this guy was going to be. Smoking marijuana while doing the interview, talking about K2 and smoking spice. A train wreck, what I considered it. But a lot of people enjoyed that. And I think I've mentioned that, sometimes when I do these interviews, especially when somebody reaches out and you don't know anything about them, sometimes that can have an adverse effect. Maybe some other things can come to light. And in Double Man's case, they most certainly did. I would get a chance to meet a guy by the name of Nick with a YouTube channel, Pitbulls vs. Predators. And the first thing that I want to say about Nick and that YouTube channel, man, that is some entertaining content. I've caught myself watching a few of his videos, chasing these creepos around the entire town, trying to put them on full display and blast for having illicit conversations with minors in chats, using a decoy, and these guys feeding right into it. And absolutely, I agree that they should be put on full display, blast, and, even catch charges behind what they're doing. So, a big shout out to this guy, Nick. I think that he's a pretty decent guy. And then how crazy is it that Double Man gets caught up in one of these exposés? Entertaining a conversation with a minor, a supposed minor, the decoy. Agreeing to go meet that minor and to purchase alcohol for them. Now I'm seeing all of this after the fact, after I've done this interview with Double Man. I had no prior knowledge of any of this, and had I, would I have thought any differently about doing the interview? I probably would have. And because of the fact that I had already done the interview, and then all of this comes to light, am I biased toward Double Man at all? I probably am. And After Prison Show, Jerry Springer collaboration, final thought. I share that with you, being real with you. And I share that, now mind you, let me also say this, had those conversations said anything really, really crazy, descriptive nature of sexual things, I'd have gone in even harder than Nick. How dare you come on my channel, knowing that this is taking place with you and knowing that you've done these type of things. But there wasn't that. Double Man looks the part. I hate to say that, but that's the truth. I've said it to Nick, I've said it to him, I've said it to all of you. When Nick goes about trying to expose these folks, is he biased because of the way that Double Man looks? I'm just thinking out loud saying that. I don't know what Nick thinks or what he thought. What I felt like was different about Double Man in comparison to maybe any of the other guys that Nick caught on his YouTube channel, Pitbulls vs. Predators, is there was no illicit conversation. Yes, of course, entertaining a conversation with a 15-year-old in any form or fashion on the internet is definitely suspect. I agree with that completely. Joe, if it was your kid, your daughter, Joe, you don't have kids, so you can't relate. You guys are right about all of that. And if I did and I had kids, you're very well right to say I probably would have felt a totally different way. But I tried to come at this situation neutral and unbiased, even though I probably was a little bit biased, and simply because of the fact that there was no illicit conversation. And who else on the internet has the balls, grab them, what? Who has the balls to even entertain hearing both sides of the story and trying to remain and tries to remain unbiased in the situation. Because I do think there is the potential that the Double Man storyline, his exposure, was blown out of proportion. Again, yes, you should never entertain, as a grown person, you should never entertain any kind of chat or conversation on the internet, in a parking lot, anywhere, with a minor. That is a definite no-no. But here's this person, this decoy, saying, hey, I think your music's cool, whatever. So I can see to a certain degree there being some blurred lines and confusion there. Agreeing afterwards to meet up with the minor, definitely a no-go right there also. Saying that you're willing to purchase alcohol, even worse or just as bad as the first two red flags, right? People would say, Joe, what if he did go back to wherever he was going to go with this alleged minor? Something probably was guaranteed to happen. The opinions of some or maybe a lot of people. And I can't fault you for feeling that way. Are you wrong in feeling that way? I don't think you are. Do I think that he would have, could have, had the intentions of sex? Well, the last part of that, I don't think that he did. I don't think he went there with the intentions of sex. Could it have happened? Sure. But that's like saying, I'm going to go to the bank. And, well, I don't even want to use, I don't even want to try to justify this, but there has to be some kind of an analogy with this, right? You can't just think the worst in every situation, but maybe this is a totally different situation. Hell, I don't know. I'm getting a little confused trying to formulate a final thought on all of this. I see both sides of the argument here. And I agree completely. It was wrong to, one, entertain the conversation, two, agree to meet up, and three, purchase the alcohol. And then what would have, could have happened afterwards is a nightmare. I mean, to think. But that didn't happen, I guess is what I'm trying to say, right? I don't think that Double Man was right for what he did. I want that to be clear. But I also don't think, I don't want to say I don't think that he did anything wrong. He didn't say anything wrong. And there is some sort of an explanation, right? The more I try to explain this, the more I feel like, Joe, what the world? I guess I'll wrap it. I guess where I'm trying to get to it is here. You know, I definitely think what these folks do, trying to expose creepos and predators on the internet, is a great thing. But there's got to be clear and concise evidence of nefarious, for you in the comments, the nefarious one, evil motives. And even like Nick said, hey, look, these guys, they think that they're smart. They're not going to say these things. But they do have the intentions. Well, how do you know? You can't read everybody's mind. And just because a guy looks a certain way doesn't mean he's got that type of thinking or he is a predator, right? I honestly feel like, and I hate to say this because I don't do so to make fun of, but I honestly feel like this guy, Double Man, he ain't all there. And maybe he wasn't thinking of this situation as bad as it really is. Now, granted, he did say, hey, look, I want to make it clear, I'm not here for that type of party. But whatever. I wanted to just share two sides to this story because I felt like there was enough in Double Man's favor to at least play the devil's advocate. Had those conversations been crazy, which the conversations just taking place at all is crazy. But had they been any more crazy, well, we wouldn't be having this conversation right here. I like the guy, Nick. I do. I don't fault him for anything. I don't think that he's wrong at all. He believes what he believes, and a lot of people believe that too. And who am I to say what you should believe or what you shouldn't believe? That's not what I'm trying to do at all. I'm not trying to convince you one way or another. I'm simply sharing with you my final thought, my rationale for going down this rabbit hole that most would not touch. Investigative reporting, who's doing it like this? Come on in, sit down for a moment. No, you ain't got to go nowhere. I hate to make jokes about it, but crazy. I also want to mention something real quick about Nick. Nick would message me this morning. He would thank me for the opportunity to share his story and, his take on all of this, which he's caught a lot of flack behind. He's got a stalking charge. He's probably made some mistakes as well. Going to Double Man's parents' house, he would say, he was getting harassed himself. And I can't confirm nor deny that, but I at least want to say what Nick has said about that. He was getting pushed to his breaking point, it seems like. And in relation to a comment that was made by Double Man about Nick and a 14-year-old when he was 19, he would tell me that was his high school girlfriend, his kid's mother. He was 17, she was 16. So I did want to include that clarification from Nick's point of view, what he had to say in response to that. This was drama. Oh, God, it was. Joe, it's always drama. Joe, you got the greatest luck in the world when it comes to interviewing folks because it always turns to drama. Don't it, though? But damn if this shit was not interesting. Good, bad, whatever. At the very least, it was interesting. And again, I like Nick's YouTube channel. I encourage you guys to go subscribe to that shit and watch those videos. I think that shit is gold. I want to react to some of them videos. You got me ready to go do some exposing. We're going to do it straight, Chris. Hey. Sit down now. Sit down. I leave you with this. I don't think Double Man's a bad guy. Could this have gotten horrendous had this been for real and he really was meeting a 15-year-old? Who's to say? You don't know because it was never going to happen. But what if it did, though, right? The man has nothing at all except for his SoundCloud account and his music. And some young girl reaches out, as he would be made aware very quickly in that chat, reaches out, sends him a friend request, and he would say, hey, check out my music. And they would come back and say, hey, I checked it out and I think it's great. Like, I can see how a conversation can begin that way. There's worser things, right? What did he really do? I'm trying to throw in the George Youngblow scene in the courtroom trying to get bail. What did I really do, Your Honor? I crossed an imaginary line with some plants. What did he really do? That's all we've got on this. It was an opportunity to hear two sides of a very crazy story. However you feel in the end of this, you're entitled to feel that way. Not only this final thought was for me to share my view and opinion on the situation, but also to explain why I decided to do this. Hell, it was drama to start with. I already knew it was going to stir the pot. And again, for the third time, let me say this. Had there been a chat log that said some really wild shit, nah, we wouldn't have, we probably still would have done the interview and then gone a whole totally different route about it. But that wasn't the case. I leave you with this. There's two sides to every story. Your side, their side, and then a third side, the truth. The truth is that in between, I guess, the conclusion that, any third party would come to. The truth. What you believe to be the truth. How crazy is that? Whatever you believe in the end of this situation is your truth to take with you, to carry with you. You could have certain principles and morals about this, as everybody should. You should never entertain the conversation, never go meet up. Yes, you are absolutely correct about that. Those are pretty standard morals and principles. But what an interesting little investigative report we were able to do here, right? I leave you with that. You let me know how you feel, and I'll respect that. Tell me to go fuck myself. Tell me, Joe, this is going to be the end of After Prison Show. Shit, that was long ago. You named the drama. That'll be your truth. Whatever you feel it was that killed me like a Scottish garment. Kilt. Anyways, just being silly. Folks, take care of yourselves and each other. Wait, does Lester Holt say that or does Jerry Springer say that?